Hello, everybody, and welcome to the No Zone. I hope you're all good indeed. So, why is RTD a hypocrite is the topic of tonight's stream. As I said, I was going to follow on, and tomorrow I will be talking a little bit more about this topic, but also Chris Chibnall has actually come out and opened his mouth in defense of RTD, and we will be talking about that as well. So it's a talking circle. Well, no, I'm going to be on camera in just a second. I'm just going to wait on the guest to come in before I put on the camera. But I will be putting on the camera. So, as you know, RTD has come out with some recent shite lately in relation to Davros, which has actually, I wouldn't say divided the fandom because it's not a divided fandom. It's the shills versus the real fans, in fairness. And then you've got a selection of fans who just like the pander with the rest of them because it's fashionable. But it's caused a bit of an uproar. Now, people keep continuing to say, well, but it's just a skit for children in need. But yeah, if you watch Doctor Who Unleashed, which a lot of you obviously haven't, you will hear him come out and say that this was supposed to be a serious 5 minute, not a skit, but a 5 minute thing that he was doing. And it turned out to be unintentionally funny. But this is what he said in relation to the changes that he made to Davros. He says, speaking on the first episode of Unleashed, essentially the new version of Doctor Who Confidential, which I spoke about, so you can all thank me for that one. Dave has explained, time and society and culture and taste has moved on. And there's a problem with Davros of old in that his wheelchair user who is evil, and I've had problems with that of associating disability with evil and all of that other rubbish that he came out with. But of course, fans in this fandom, when a showrunner comes out with stuff like that, they obviously go and do a little bit of digging. And of course, it wasn't very hard, and it didn't take very long for fans to find out that RTD is a complete hypocrite, and all he's doing here is he's doing exactly what the Disney overlords are telling them to do. Because in an article, he criticized the wokeness of Hollywood, where he said that people were more focused on, the change in gender and all of this race swapping and all of this other stuff, right? Okay. Then, as I said, in 2008, he said this about Davros. Seriously, Davros is meant to be horrific. We've had so many withered geniuses in sci-fi lately, like Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars, that I needed something to make everyone sit up and realize that this man is the king of horror, the original and the best. And he's been through so many physical changes over the years. I wanted to add one of my own. I asked Louise to give the new jacket buckles because I wanted it to look like a straight jacket. It just seemed to fit because he's so insane. Maybe it's the age of everyone involved, suggests Russell, but we wanted to remain faithful to the very beginning of the character, knowing that no prosthetics could do miracles with the mobility of the face. And that original version is still a great piece of design, although I like the later ones too. I always thought Terry Malloy's Davros looked as though he'd been bloated and adjacent by drugs. That's awful plump yellow. It was brilliant. So that's what he said in 2008. Fast forward to 2013, or 2023, I should say, and his opinion has completely done a 180. he is now doing everything that he criticized in the past. Therefore, RTD is a hypocrite. But there's evidence within his own series of Doctor Who that he's a hypocrite. Because John Lumick is a character that we've brought up, and many other characters that appeared in sitting down positions or in life-saving devices. You also had, if you remember, the cyborg fella, what's his name? The fella, the Titanic one, Max Capricorn. Right, he had wheels and stuff like this, and he didn't have a body, and he was horrific looking. Everything that he said, right, makes him a hypocrite. Right? He only did this to upset people. And for a showrunner to go and do something like that, right, there's something seriously wrong. Right? He went to America, as I said. He was a decent writer over here. Went to America and came back a prick. We got a member for 18 months. Gareth says, hi, thank you, by the way, 18 months. I do have to get back to the member streams, but I'm glad you are all still supporting me. We will have as you know, obviously, we've shifted focus again. So I'll get back on those member streams again. But he says, hi, Noel, thanks for this stream. This is the first time in the past year I've actually been hurt by RTD because of the Davros situation. And this is the thing. The fallout from this, from me looking in, I have to say it's been really disheartening to see. Of course, there are the few out there that pretending that they're on board with this. We used to have a guy on this channel I won't mention, but let me just say that this guy, at every opportunity when he used to get called out, used to use his wheelchair as a shield, right? He idolized Davros, right? And all of this, and then as soon as RTD makes the changes, then he goes against the very same people that he stopped us in the back for. Right? Oh, the mask is slipping. No, the mask isn't slipping. See, the thing about it is, in this situation, everybody is right. This was unnecessary. Right? It was just RTD flexing his muscles and seeing what he could get away with. Now, this is an indication of what's to come, folks, right? Because if you don't believe how bad it is, well, let me read you this. This is from a review of the very first episode that's coming back of RTD specials. And let me just tell you, it does not sound good whatsoever. So, the Radio Times wrote this about the Star Beast. So what about these brilliant newbies? Yasmin Finney is at her best when interacting with the Meep. She makes her Doctor Who debut as Donna's daughter Rose and marks one of the show's first ever trans characters. Discussions about her identity are not glossed over, and it's not hard to see how important that representation is going to be to generations of fans. So any fan out there that's hoping that RTD is going to stop the agenda, well, there you go. That's from the Radio Times itself. Now, as you know, the Star Beast obviously had its premiere, and the media got access to it. Now, I'll read that last paragraph again. Discussions about her identity are not glossed over, and it's not hard to see how important that representation is going to be to generations of fans. And there's that word again, generations. Because as I told you, right now, well, an hour ago on BBC's YouTube channel, they were showing the regenerations, right? They put out a guide about Doctor Who for everybody as well, right? I'm going to tell you now, Doctor Who is not for us, the intelligent fans, right? Doctor Who is for dummies now, because that's exactly how they're aiming it. This is, oh, here's the history of the Doctor. Here's the history of Gallifrey. Right? All dumbed down in a small package. So fans, oh, if you don't know anything about the show, well then here's the history. This is Doctor Who for dummies. This is not our show anymore. This is exactly for the next generation, as Piers fucking Wenger said from day one when RTD was announced. He said it. That was his quote. It's Doctor Who for the next generation. Right? This show is not for us, not for intelligent fans. This show is for people that love all of this pandering nonsense. Oh, look, we got someone who's trans. Oh, look, we got a gay doctor. Oh, look, we got this, we got that. Right? That's all they're interested in. Not interested in stories or anything like that. Once all of these characters are shipped and all of this crap, right? That's what they're all about, right? You want to know who's screwing who and all of this nonsense, right? That's what your show is going to become. It's not going to be a sci-fi show anymore, right? That's for intelligent people. It's going to be dumbed down for the mass populace, and this is what Disney have done with Star Wars. This is an absolute travesty. Disney, obviously, we've been lied to, and Disney have some influence, because I cannot believe that this is just all RTD, but maybe it is, which makes it even worse, because he was, even by myself, I was told he was coming back to save the show, and it looks like people that told me that were absolutely lying, but they were right about everything else though. But they obviously, unless RTD tricked everybody thinking that he was coming back to do right by the show, I don't know. But I'm not on my own, and Christian is wondering why we have a big audience. Well, you see, what happened was because I did a stream the other day and I started talking about Doctor Who again, all the little mad freaks are back. So, you know, welcome to the old Tarda zone, aka now the null zone, because this is the way it used to be back in the old days. So let's bring him on, because yeah, he's right. We haven't had an audience like this for our streams. And obviously we did that last stream. We had 70 people watching, and that stream hit over 1,000 views just yesterday. So I want to thank everybody that was involved in the panel, because, you know, I like to give credit to the people that were on, because they were the ones that actually made it happen. And I want to say to you guys in the chat, and the people that have resubscribed as well, because some of you have resubscribed to me as well, and I really do appreciate it. Look, I do. It's humbling, but I couldn't have done it without the people that were on that panel that night, and every single fucking one of them were brilliant, including that, especially Daniel, because this has affected Daniel very personally, and it's affected some years as well very personally. This character means a lot to a lot of people. It's Doctor Who's greatest villain and has been turned into a joke. Lee was with us for that stream. Lee explained why he's been absent as well, because a lot of people were thinking that me and Lee had a bit of a falling out, but Lee set the record straight. So if you go back and watch the stream that we did, it's called What in the Davros. Go and check that stream out. It was an absolutely brilliant stream. And go and check it out. And now I'm going to bring on my co-host for this stream, and we're going to get his thoughts and opinions. And I'll say he's fucking delighted, because I know he's been wanting to talk about Doctor Who on these streams, but now that we're back talking about it, the shackles are off, and this is going to be brilliant. And as I said, as soon as he comes on, and if he's going to be on camera, I'll be on camera too. If he's not, then I'll stay off, because it'd be stupid just one of us on camera. So that's the way I'm looking at it now. Anyway, here he is. It's all the way from the lead. No. That's the Rad Boys intro. Sorry. Scratch that. They say there's a legend. Yes. They say he's a legend. It is the legend all the way from Florida. That is Christian Basel, the legend of the traveling TARDIS.
We've been doing this for months, and I haven't had an introduction. It's like this. Well, here's Christian. Bring him on. I like it. I love it.
Thank you very much. Roy, we might as well get straight into it.
Oh, gosh. We got
Christian, now, Christian, you've been kind of optimistic. You've been, you've tried to remain optimistic about
That's
this new
putting it
era.
loosely.
But this, come on, even you have to admit that this whole Davros thing and his explanation to it. And then I read it. Obviously, I don't know if you heard me. I read his quote from 2008 where he had a completely different opinion to the one he has now. It is classic pandering, isn't it? This is RTD. Is this RTD though, or do you think it's a Disney brief? Because some people
I
think
don't
it's a
know
Disney
about.
brief, but he's the showrunner, and doesn't the book stop with him at the end of the day? So I'd have to say it's the showrunner. But what do you think?
I don't know. I don't accept his explanation. I mean, what was it? Scottish Stavros? He wrote an
Yeah,
entire paragraph, and I'm just like and I put the question on our YouTube channel, and 26 people have responded. All of them not glaringly good, and a couple of them are people with disabilities. Hey, Chris, how you doing? And everybody out there in the chats, thanks for joining us today.
yeah. I'm going to
And
start throwing you our chats up now, guys, while Christian is talking. Sorry, I'm being a bit behind. So go
I'm
ahead,
just
Christian.
jumping in to see if I can hit people or say Lindsay said hi and stuff. But I God, I was just like, when I heard about that, I'm just like, Russell, who the hell are you talking about? Because it's not me. It's not any of my friends that I know. And believe it or not, we were only going to have one episode. We were actually going to review the Christmas Invasion to just have some fun to introduce, the 14th Doctor, because this weekend is Thanksgiving and everything. So we wanted to do something a little light and try to get into the holidays. Now we're going to have two shows tonight. One of them is the review of the Christmas Invasion. The other show is going to be the review of Destination Scarrow. And I just have to sit back and I'm just like, and there's people. I'm trying to put it into words.
I can't understand? How can anybody defend RTD's comments? Anybody with any amount of common sense will say that his explanation is just absolutely stupid when everything that he has done in the past and the quotes that he has made in the past contradict everything that he's saying now.
Let me put it this way. And when I get into it, when I get information like this, when something is presented to me like this, I try to see both sides of the story.
I know you do, and that's why I bring you on, because I want to get your both sides on it.
Here's the thing that I see it. Okay, fine. First of all, why do you even mention it? Do you not trust the audience to be in 2023 that we don't think like this? This may have been great for the James Bond villains back then when, that, but today not. And not only that, didn't you bring on Max Capricorn?
What was that? I said as well. That's what I said as well at the intro. I said
you
that.
Brought Davros back.
Yeah, not only that, John Lumick as well in season.
John Lumick,
season 2. Yeah. So I mean, come on.
And I'll explain it tonight. If you guys want to join us tonight about that, it's going to be. I apologize. It's going to be midnight on your time, but 7 p.m. ours. That we're going to be talking about and reviewing Destination Scarrow, and we're pretty much probably going to have a talking debate about this because we do have a few on the team who kind of see his point of view. They're going to try their best to bring it up, and there's one person who acknowledges it because she works as an I forgot what it is, but she works in nursing. And for me, okay, let me take it from a personal aspect. I grew up with a dad who had rheumatoid arthritis that crippled him from legs to arms.
Yeah.
When I tell people, I used to jokingly tell people, I did more walking than my dad did in his entire life.
Yeah, you basically meant that.
Yeah, he did not. He was wheelchair bound the whole time. I can tell you right now, I never saw him as an evil character. I never talked about taking over the planet. I never talk about, I never had those discussions with him, and I never saw him less than a person. I had a best friend, Steve Bush, who passed away recently. He was a friend of mine in middle school who was a wheelchair bound. Nutty as a fruitcake. And the thing that just drove me nuts, he kept on trying to run me over with his wheelchair, and he popped me in the damn classroom. But I never saw him any less. He guys sat next to me, and we always had a blast wherever we were going. I don't know where this perception comes from. And I was talking to one of my co-hosts who says there is that indication, but I've always seen it as this. Davros didn't lose his left arm and decided to go, menocidal with everything. He became Frankenstein and he created a monster, and he believed that his genius was going to be left in the legacy of the Daleks, that he was willing to sacrifice his own self. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm seeing he used some of his body, his DNA, to make the Daleks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did. And
so it's not about,
4.
and this is where I put into a lot of chats, and I think I did with your show as well. It's not about disability. It's about a man losing his humanity. That's it. There's nothing else to this.
And he created that chair as a sustaining device because and that should be like, I know he was an evil genius, but the fact that he's will to live and he created that chair to sustain his life, that, you know what I mean? Like, how I just don't get RTD's explanation at all. I think it's rather shabby, to be quite honest. And I said this, and maybe I could be way off the mark here, but it sounds like that this is a man that maybe had his own prejudices against people in wheelchairs years ago and is trying to make up for it. I could be wrong, but that's what that looks like to me.
He doesn't even have to say anything, but the thing is that if this is your thought process as to why Davros is the way he is currently now, it makes absolutely no sense. And to tell you the truth, if I was somebody with a disability, are you saying that we can't be evil? Are you saying we can't be the good guys? In fact, I think in the 60th anniversary, they hired somebody, an actress who is in a wheelchair, if I'm not mistaken, and she's supposed to be helping the Doctor. So why not do that? Why even explain this at all? I don't see the ideology. I don't see where you're coming with Whovians. I know that there have been times throughout history, there have been stories where the evil guy had a scar, he's missing a left arm. But I've always established that to like Captain Hook. Captain Hook lost his arm because he fought Peter Pan, and Peter Pan got a good aim, lopped off his arm, and threw it at the crocodile. He didn't lose his arm because it was over time and like kids were beating him, and it just shriveled up, and he lost it because he made a choice. And that's where I've always seen the impression of the bad guys, if they have quote unquote, and I hate using that word, the disability or the scar or whatever, it's because you can tell that they're war torn. They made a decision. They're the kid who took the coin, shoved it into the electric socket, and got shocked. And this is their repercussions. And I think one of the spoofs that I can support with is Dr. Evil, because he's a guy that goes around in an electric chair and then he starts walking. He is upright. And I think that was supposed to be a take on that evil people were disabled, but I never put that into a conclusion. I never saw somebody in a wheelchair going like, oh my goodness, are they going to take over the planet? Where is that coming from?
I don't know. I'll just address this by XFM. You might not want to go over.
All right, Mark, hand arm. You know what I'm talking about.
But I seem to remember someone joining your podcast to basically say the new RTD era was a full-on rescue mission or something. Yeah, mate. Look, all I say about that is I think we were all fooled. I believed it as well. I really did. Like a lot of people, I wanted to believe it. And I do feel let down. And I said this the other day openly on the other stream that we did. I felt like because I reported on it and brought these people on, that I gave you a bit of false hope. I feel bad about it now because the way it's turned out. But yeah, man, I'm just baffled though myself that that he's gone this radical though. And I think the worst is yet to come, to be quite honest with you. But look, we don't have long to wait now. It's not long now before Star Beast is aired, and then we will either see how good or bad it actually is, and then we'll get an indication very long. But as I said to someone backstage, the first 2 episodes, you know, you'll probably get a lot that you will like, and then it'll be the last episode, and particularly the last 20-25 minutes of the last episode, because remember that leads then into the Christmas special, and then you'll get your first indication of how good or bad this show is going to be. But all I'm just going to say is the more I keep reading and hearing and stuff coming out of RTD's mouth, I do believe Disney has a lot more input than on. There's a lot of things that stink at Disney here. It really does. But look, they reap what they sow. If this is the direction that they go in, if they want Doctor Who for dummies, that's fine, fair enough. It loses its core audience, and the show will eventually crash and burn. But remember, it'll be dragged through the mud for a few years because they've got that deal with Disney. So it doesn't matter whether the ratings go down; they'll just continue to flog a dead ship until they shell. So it'll be interesting to see will the Davros, because I asked this of the panel, and I'll ask you the same question, Christian, because I think it's a rather relevant one to make. Do you think this situation now will have an impact on the 60th anniversary, or do you think because it is 60 years and Tennant is back, because I think Charlotte made that point, or was there someone in the chat today, the Tennant factor may be the pull, and might bring the audience back? What do you think?
Here's where I'm going to take a different approach on this, and I could be 100% wrong, but this is me trying to, like you said, establish an idea. Why is this? Well, what's going on with this? Why is this happening? And of course, all press is good press for anything that you're doing, even if it's not positive. I don't think he got it in the way of what he was thinking was going to happen. But look, what we're doing, we're talking about, we're having special episodes about this. So he's got us talking. He got us where he wants us, as far as, bringing the impression, bringing it out there. I mean, I don't know about you, but my audience have gone up as far as subscribers are concerned. And I think that's because people are looking out there now that Doctor Who's coming back. They're looking for, people like us and podcasts to kind of to rely on to give them an impression of that and a voice to go out there and say, hey, this is what I think. Having said that, I really don't understand where this was coming from. Like I said, he brought back Davros. He brought Max Capricorn. He's done this before. Is he saying that I was wrong? And again, somebody, and not only that, but if you've seen the comments on his Instagram, which I really hold him accountable for, he's gone. What's that guy's name? Tiki Tati or whatever his name is. Tiki, the guy who directed Thor movies.
Oh yeah.
He's gone postal on people who have legitimate criticisms. What are you going to do about the Cybermen, whose whole bane of existence is that they're trying to improve themselves? Are they going to be all human all of a sudden? And that might be something cool to approach. What about a cyber race that look completely human? Now, but they've all still got their mechanical stuff inside. It's just not on the outside anymore. I mean, that's something to do. But again, I don't know why it even had to be announced. It's almost like saying, okay, recycling's good, or, climate change and all that stuff. Well, you don't need to tell Whovians that. We all know that climate change is bad or pollution is bad. Tell us in a story with characterizations that we can relate to, and a story that we can all enjoy.
Yeah.
That climate, that this is bad. I don't mind seeing a pre-injured Davros. Yeah, that's what I thought too. It's a prequel. I thought that was cool. This would be great. 15th Doctor meets Davros before he got hit by the Thal shell. Hey, why not? Now this brings up a new question about Davros, because now maybe the 15th or the 14th, well, I doubt the 14th Doctor is going to see it, but the 15th Doctor could be dealing with a Davros who's upright, who hasn't been shelled yet, and then somewhere in the conclusion, maybe the 15th Doctor has warned him. It's like, if you go down this road, it's going to drive you insane. And unfortunately, because time happens, he still ends up in that wheelchair. but I don't see disability as being a driving a characterization unless it's been promoted that way.
Yeah, his words are very hurtful, though. You know, I don't think he realizes the hurt he's actually caused some in the disabled community. Of course, the ones that are on the leftist agenda will obviously support him, but there are genuinely heartbroken disabled fans out there, and it's absolutely he doesn't. And here, listen, by the way, you know, just to kind of sum up what RTD is all about. So, of course, after the Davros thing, obviously a couple of fans wanted to go in and give their opinion to him, and I'm going to read you.
If I'm there are people who have disabilities, and like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, what is he talking about? I'm just like, he doesn't address them. I doubt I don't think I don't know his personal life. I don't think he's ever been in a wheelchair. I don't know if he's asked people in a wheelchair, but I can tell you now, especially with Scottish Davros, they're not happy because they're addressing it as they're referring to a disability and not a character that's been established for 60 years. One of the coolest villains, probably in my heart, of all time.
Oh, Davros. Yeah.
And
I agree with you on that one. Definitely. He's definitely up there.
If there's one thing about Davros that he's not PC by any means of the imagination, and trying to turn him PC is not working.
No. Work though, it'll crash and burn just like everything else when they try this rubbish. You know, do it somewhere else is what we're saying. We're not saying don't do it, but do it with programs that you enjoy. Don't be doing it to programs that we enjoy. What's wrong with us having Doctor Who? Nothing, absolutely nothing. But you don't want us to have that because it's all about you. Because that's what society has become, a bunch of me. Look at me, I want attention, me. Oh, poor me, oh, I'm a victim, I'm this, that, and the other. We're sick of bleeding tired of it now. It's time to grow up. You know, life is not easy, okay? It will bloody test you, all right? But, you know, we all face our trials and tribulations, and we go out and we get out the other side. Right, and we just fucking get on with it because that's the best way to do. We don't annoy anybody else. They don't annoy us, and we just get on with it. But you guys know you just want to annoy everybody and upset everybody else because me. That's all you are, man. Is you know what? I don't know what you know what? It's unbelievable. You might as well be fucking Sontarans the whole fucking lot, right? Because you are all the fucking same.
Real super doctor, me. Mentality.
Seriously, he's fucking sick. Grow the fuck up. It's time for you now to cop on. You know what I mean? Just get on with it. Right? You can create his own TV shows, his own new characters and all this brand new TV shows, but they suck anyway because when they have tried it, they've all failed because you don't go and watch them anyway. But you want Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek, and all of these other franchises to be infected by it. And the reason why they were successful in the first place because they were totally the opposite to what you want them to be. And then when they fail, then, oh, you're all a bunch of racist, sexist, transphobic, and homophobic, victim. We're sick of it.
Well, I just want to focus on his rationality as why he did what he did.
He has no rationality. That man. Well,
that's what I'm saying. I just I want to go. Okay, what do you got? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, people with disabilities I've been seeing on social media going like, what are you doing to Davros? You don't need to do that. There is absolutely no need to do what you're doing. And yeah, he came out and just said, you know, it's just we've gone beyond that. I'm like, no, we haven't. If anything, we're entering into it. I mean, Cybermen are just around the corner at this point. You know, we have AI now. We have prosthetics. We're in the corner. Everything that they were talking about in 1970s and 80s are now coming to its fruition. We should be revisiting this and going like, is this a good idea?
Or a real super doctor, actually, because I'm going to bring him up because he does be on the channel, as you know.
Okay,
He
cool.
made an interesting point actually on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And he
Okay.
says, "What if RTD is trolling fans?" And
Why?
my
Why?
response, my response is like real super doctor, because we spoke about it, and he's the same. Like it would be cruel to do that. So either way, he's not coming out of this clean. He's tainted himself with this whole situation. And the people out there that are all of a sudden speaking up, right, and saying that, oh, thank God RTDs addressed it because it's big. Well, I would like to ask all of you, how come none of you ever opened his mouth until he did? Not one of you, not in any
That's a good
time. I
point.
have asked some fan to show me evidence where someone was giving out about Davros in the past in this fandom. Nobody has ever had an issue with
But
Davros. Nobody's ever seen him as someone being in a wheel either. That was a traveling machine that he built to
that was
save
life
himself.
support.
Yes,
That was keeping him
a
alive.
traveling machine. That's what that was. We didn't see that as a wheelchair. The only ones that saw it as a wheelchair is obviously RTD and all you other Muppets that all of a sudden say, oh yeah, it is an issue. It's not an issue. It never was an issue. And this is why there's backlash to it. So for anybody out there saying, oh, you're only hating on disabled people, absolutely fucking not. Right? Me fucking wife is disabled and I'm fucking disabled. And I fucking, as you all know, most of the people that I fucking know on YouTube or at, they all have either a disability somewhere. So it's fucking, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. He's upset a whole fucking community for what? For what?
Well, he's
For what?
become the Peter. He's
Because of
become
his
the
own insecurities. That's all this is, man. This is a guy that's projecting, and I think it's disgusting.
well. He's
This
become the
is
Peter Dinklage of what's going on now. I'm just like, yeah, nobody's going like, what are you talking about? Why are you know? What are
anybody
you
I know
doing?
either has a mental health issue, either has a disability like myself, fucking my wife as well. She fucking has Ryan's disability that they didn't do right in fucking Doctor Who because I experience it every fucking day, right? And then some of the people in this fandom then were giving me fucking stick because I was coming out and criticizing the BBC the way they were portraying it. Absolute joke it was. Absolute joke. Even my wife was like, what the hell's going on here? And she actually she liked Jodie Whittaker at the very start because obviously for her as a woman, she wanted to see how it go. But very quickly, like everybody else, she
Well, again,
absolutely despised the show. Sure, I can tell you how much she hasn't watched the show. She hasn't even watched the last couple of specials. She hasn't watched the 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 Legend of the Sea Devils, and she hasn't watched the Power of the Doctor. Right?
well,
I
even
don't
even
know. She hasn't even watched Flux actually.
well, even then, it's just like, well, why are you making this explanation? Or even still, why didn't you have the episode with somebody who has a disability? I mean, we have great heroes. We have Professor X. We have Daredevil. We have Oracle from Batgirl.
Yeah,
We
but as
have
soon as you
heroes in their own right, and if you put right characterization in that everybody can associate, you will have something incredibly wonderful that people can relate to and enjoy and look forward to the most. Um, no one had offense to it. People
when is
are
the
not
start
trying to.
when is the start piece coming out? Well,
This Saturday.
Saturday, but yeah, you're right about the 19th. I love what you did there.
Thought it came out in 1980. It did. Technically, it did. So
Again, that's
they're just
another
catching up.
criticism, but I think fans don't realize the reason why he's cherry picking from certain things is because he's extending the universe, as we told you. You're not just getting Doctor Who. Once Doctor Who is back up on its feet, if it does, well, I think he screwed it now. But once Doctor Who is back up on its feet, apparently they're going to be doing spin-offs anyway. So whether you like it or not, and you don't like the main show, they're going to be throwing out spin-offs whether you like it or not. That's the thing about this whole thing. It's like it's madness. What you never build a house on dodgy foundations.
Yeah, a
Right? The
good house is
foundations,
founded on good
yeah,
bones, and this is
exactly.
not good bones.
Foundations have to be solid. So the main show has to be solid, in my opinion, before you start going to do fucking spin-offs. If this main show flops and the spin-offs end up being better, it's a sad indictment of how they treat Doctor Who. They obviously don't care about Doctor Who. They were just using it to extend the universe.
Well, it's not only that, and Zombie Box Reviews puts out a good comment. Some disabilities are not visible, and Doctor Who made 3 attempts. If anybody had been paying attention, I'm not talking about our audience. I'm talking about people, who've been, who are keeping monitor of this. There have been 3 attempts, at least that I know of, that there was disability thrown in, and it was just off to the wayside. One is Ryan. And that just, kind of fizzled out after a while.
It wasn't even portrayed properly. It wasn't, though.
It wasn't. And the second one was when the 12th Doctor went blind. And I was thinking, why is that even a story? Because we know he regenerates. So does that mean Jodie's going to be blind when she comes in? Why are we doing this little ditty? But I get it, and then I didn't get it. I'm just like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But I guess this is a thing now. And the third one, which I really feel bad about. There was an actress, I think she has dwarfism, and she was in the final season of Capaldi, and she was one of the scientists. I can't remember the name of the actress or the episode, but it was during the monks scene where, if anybody remembers the actress name, or so, but I'm hoping you guys know, she had dwarfism, but the way she interpreted her character, she played off Capaldi so well. I was ready to tell Nardole and Bill to take a hike and bring her in and make her a character, make her a companion. And it would be like, why not? If you play it right. And of course, there's going to be things that she will not be doing that somebody who is of taller stature does, but did make her less of a potential companion or somebody who could play off the Doctor very well. And that's got nothing to do with it. If you want to use that and utilize that to show, to get over adversity, fine. But do it in a good way. Don't be going up here and saying, we don't want to put wheelchair people in a dark light. I'm like, who's thinking this? Not me, not you, not anybody in this audience, not anybody in my audience. Apparently, everybody who responded, I think like 26, 28 people responded to my question, and all of them just like, we don't know what you're talking about, RTD. Now, that might have been something, like I said, in a James Bond character way back when, but even then, that was initially their characterization and not necessarily a disability. And a disability, I don't think, drives anybody to the point of, or, wanting to take over the planet.
It's just bullshit. And I honestly start to believe that this man maybe in his past was nasty to people in wheelchairs or something, because that's what this feels. It feels like someone overcompensating for an issue that's not even there.
Then he could have said that. He could have said, hey, listen, you know what? As growing up, I always thought of the bad guy as being this wheelchair person, but I really want to, try to see some characterizations, and you can do representation, or you just say nothing and just hire people, and don't be Peter Dinklage about it.
But Ruth Madley is going to be in the new series of Doctor Who, and she's in a wheelchair, and she's a great fucking actress. Saying. You know what I mean? So I don't get his fucking lot. RTD, you have one job. And I said this, your biggest downfall would be if you opened your mouth and you tried to cater to please everybody, right? And it seems like you're doing exactly that. And you know what? You're going to fall flat in your face. The ratings are going to plummet, and it's game over, right? And for any fan out there that thinks that we don't have influence, look at the Whittaker era. Look at the ratings, right? You can deny it all you want and say it was great era, all of this, and the ratings were grand. They weren't. They were awful, right? They were absolutely dire. Okay? Now, we don't want that to happen again. All we want is RTD to fucking do the best boy Doctor Who, right? Leave all the fucking nonsense out of it. It's a sci-fi fucking show anyway, right? If you want to talk about trans fucking issues, then do it on a different fucking show, right? We're here for fucking space battles. We're here for the Doctor fucking running away from aliens and fucking saving civilizations. That's what we're here for.
Beat up bug eye monsters. Yeah, that's what we're
Exactly.
here for.
That's what we're here for. Right? We're here to be educated as well, because Doctor Who can be historical at times as well. And you throw in the odd historical as well. Right?
I don't even mind if you want to take initiative and do things, but you don't have to grandstand and go out there and say, "Hey, look what we're doing." Just do it. When Captain Jack kisses the Ninth Doctor, when I saw that, I didn't go on I don't even think Twitter was around, but nobody went on their social media going, "Oh, look what happened! Look what happened!" No, it just happened.
Yeah.
And the Whovians, all of them, were like, "Okay, I guess that's a thing now."
I laughed.
I guess it's a new thing now.
I thought it was fucking hilarious at the time. I got to be honest, I did. Right?
Well, I mean, people liked it because they ended up liking Captain Jack.
Down with the gays after I saw that. Absolutely not. I loved Captain fucking Jack, and I thought the banter between him and the Ninth Doctor, especially, was fucking brilliant. I loved it.
Well, they just did it. It wasn't there was no announcement from RTD going, "Okay, I'm going to have this happen." It was just do it.
Yeah, and then when he was going to chat up the soldier fella, Rose was getting I'll sort this out, and fucking the Doctor makes him, oh no, he's a 52nd century man, 50 to whatever the fuck he is. It's different, and he goes over and chats a man. Was anybody complaining then? No, nobody was complaining. Was anybody complaining about Jenny or Vastra? No, nobody was complaining, because that wasn't the focus. He created great characters, and the characters were developed, right? And we believed those characters. That's the fucking thing.
Bingo. And they were good enough that maybe even people who were probably on the razor's edge of like, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable about this. They were good characterizations that
the characters.
They made you feel inclusive, even though you may have felt excluded out of what they were doing. Nobody said, "Oh, okay, well, if you don't appreciate these three, you can't watch the show." And that's what ticks me off. It's not just that. And there's a way that he could appease the fans, and that's what bothers me. And we do have some screenshots from his Instagram that we're going to be putting on tonight that, like, dude, really? It's like he went Taika Waititi on these people who had some legit questions and concerns, and instead of standing up to what he had, say, "Hey, you know what? I understand if you feel uncomfortable. We're taking a different approach. Try to appease them into your way of thinking. Try to appease them into your mindset." You might notice that they may come around and go, "You know what? I didn't think about it that way. And I'm glad you brought it up to me, RTD." No, he just goes, "Well, see you later." Or sorry, I'm just like, I don't understand this mentality across the board when it comes to Hollywood, comes to the BBC, everything, that you can just berate fans and just, even then, just ignore them. First of all, XSM, I would say hi, and I don't think Critical Drinker stopped watching it since Timeless Children. He made that announcement. And trust me, that's one of my favorite reviews. This is the Timeless Children is him. And as is Az, and I'm sure he's going to have some fun with it. But again, I look at the positive side and said, hey, we haven't even seen the Star Beast yet. So we're not even sure what, this might be a one-off. This could be the, half human on my mother's side thing. It happened, it went on, and then maybe we'll just push it away as time goes on. And this will be a one-off thing, and maybe he'll learn his lesson. I wouldn't say learn his lesson, but maybe have a better appreciation.
I would like him to learn. I would like him to learn a lesson. It's about time that one of these showrunners learned lessons from the fans, right? I'm sick and tired.
I see your point. I'm like, I don't want.
Let us down too many times, right? It's time for them. It's time. Look, we had Chibs, right? Let us down, right? It's not the time for RTD to be coming back and letting us down now, right? Okay, yeah. We need something, and we need something good. And all we're asking is for the show to be bloody done, for him to do right by the show, right? That's it. That's all I want them to do. I want them to do right by the show. And right now, I do not see him doing right by the show. And before people have a go at me, right, I was happy with Shooty's casting, and I still believe that he will be a good doctor, even though people have their reservations about that. You know, if they make his doctor gay, then they're just doing it for the sake of brownie points, and I think that would be absolutely the wrong thing to do. The doctor is not as simple as that. So
okay, brownie points for XSM. Return to disappointment.
But it's true. He's not. Right, so just get over it, okay? We can have gay characters in Doctor Who like we've had in the past, but the Doctor ain't gay, and you need to get over it, right? It's as simple as that. Just like she wasn't a lesbian when you tried to ship her with Yasmin, right? She's not a lesbian, right? Okay, so leave it out. End the fucking story. As I said, and I'll say it again, I'm not saying we can't have any gay or lesbian characters in Doctor Who. Never said that. What I'm saying is the Doctor isn't gay. The Master isn't gay.
Well,
all the main characters, the way they were written years ago, that's the way they are, right? You're not going to rewrite history.
It wasn't naturally pushed, like, you know, and people will debate me on this, but at least story-wise, at least Rose had a reason. At least Martha kind of had a reason. They were implementing it, and with each story, you felt that connection when Rose came up there and had that love connection for the Doctor, where Martha had the rebound girl type deal, and then Donna just said, no, I just want a bloke, I just want a mate. That was when it came to Thasmin, it was like it was pushed by social media because they wanted to see shipping. I'm just like, okay, well, if you wanted to do that, that's something that should have been at the very beginning. You should have just had Yaz by herself, which would have been
but it's superficial. Again, it's pandering. It's not done with any thought. It's not done with any respect for the people that they're actually doing it for. They're just doing it because a few mouths on social media says that this must happen. So, like, again, if this is another one of me complaints again of the Whittaker era. You know, if I had seen all of that shit done with respect, you know, and they actually meant what they were doing, you know. Opinions do differ, but I still wouldn't have been on board with the Doctor. I hate this whole thing anyway, and this is the way I don't like to see the Doctor with a companion, full stop, right? Whether the Doctor is a bloke, whether the Doctor is female, I don't want that, right? That's why my favourite companion, and this is why I'm a bit pissed about if this is going to happen with the Star Beast, because Donna Noble's back. Donna Noble's my favourite New Who companion for the simple fact of the matter is that she did not love the Doctor. She was just his friend. That's it. That was it. And that was the relationship they had. Right? He'd do anything for her. She'd do anything for him, but they were friends. Right? And she told him off when he needed to be told off. And that's what friends do. Right? That's why I love that dynamic. And that's why I was delighted when they were announced they were coming back, because I do love that dynamic. And that's the dynamic that it should always be. Now, in second place, it's Bill Potts and Peter Capaldi's Doctor. Because, again, it was professor-student relationship. There was none of this lovey-dovey fucking shy, oh, look at googly eyes. I don't want it, right? I don't want the Doctor in a relationship with someone, because as far as I'm concerned, it belittles his family that he had and died on Gallifrey.
But the thing is, he already has her. He's got a wife that's out there. What is he doing, you know, bunkering around with anybody else? He's got a wife. If he can find her and catch up to her, he's got it. So I don't understand this thought process where, you know, he's got to be bungling around with somebody. He's got a wife.
So
it's out there. Just do it.
I know. RTD is an enigma right now. He's just very hard to judge lately.
And I'm going to say this because I'm sorry, I'm short on time. But if I were to give it, I'll give you guys a preview of the rating that we did, and you can hear the others tonight. We're going to be reviewing both the Christmas Invasion and Destination Scar, but we're going to be having 2 separate episodes. So you may be jumping between 2 shows, but they're only going to be an hour long. We're going to be reviewing those 2 shows. But to give you a preview, at least from me and not from the other team as of yet, I would give it a 3 out of 10. I like Julian Bleach, but all they did was take Genesis of the Daleks and somehow bent it over and crammed in a Lower Decks minisode in there. That's what I saw. And it's just like, it doesn't make sense, because it's just, imagine if you were to watch Titanic and about 2/3 of the way, you saw Johnny from Airplane in there playing around with, everything that was going on, playing with the silverware and just making crack jokes. I'm like, it doesn't seem to fit. Now, I get it that people were saying, oh, well, this is for Pugsy. This is for, children in need, possibly, getting a younger generation. I said, well, why use this particular? You could have started with a completely new enemy, or you could have gone back and done something, a little bit out of a fun episode that was in the past that may have not done so well, and bring it up to speed, or completely do something new. But this is the route you picked. Why did you pick this route? And the reason why is, according to RTD, from what I remember, he said that this is the moment, this is the time to mention that. I'm just like, I don't think that kids are looking at the TV going like, Davros is not in his chair. It's just like, hey, Lindsay, that's fine. If you didn't like the River song stuff either, but I
like the River stuff at the start, but again,
it's half and half.
Well, it wasn't necessary to marry them off. I don't think it was, but it's still that's still one thing that Moffat said that kind of pisses me off. And then he didn't know when to let her go, which is a pity. But I did look. I know some people in the fandom don't like Kingston and didn't like River Song. I did. I didn't. I just didn't like. He dragged it on a bit too much in fairness. It was an interesting character that started off because we think about Silence in the Library and the sequel. What was the sequel called? Forest of the Dead, was it, or something like that? No.
Yeah, I got.
Like, she died at the end of that, right? But then we hear all of this stuff. She whispers in his ear and said, "I never tell anybody." And we were all intrigued. And that's a great way to introduce a character from the very end, and then kind of try to go back then and fill in the blanks. But unfortunately, with Stephen Moffat, he went off on a tangent with that character, and when she should have realistically been left, he kept bringing her back to.
I didn't mind her coming back, but it's like bringing Rose for a third time. I'm like, you better have a good reason. Just don't be bringing her back every so often. Well, now she's the moment. Okay, well, technically she's not Rose. She's the moment. I got it. But JNT had some questionable things. Depends upon who you want to believe. It really depends upon who you want to believe on that one.
Let's move on swiftly to Christian Dooney's channel chat. So he's kind of told us what he's coming up. I'll give him another opportunity to let us know what he has coming tonight. He'll give you his social medias, and then I will speak for a couple of more minutes, and then I will head off and I'll give you all my, and then I will leave. So, hold on though. So apparently breaking now a volcanic eruption imminent in Iceland, which could cause travel chaos in Europe. Well, that's brilliant, but don't erupt until all the Ukrainians are gone home, and then you can erupt, and then they won't be able to come back here. Anyway, go ahead, Christian. Yeah. Sorry, I have to get that little dig in.
No, that's fine. Your show. Do what you want. No, that's fine. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're in the UK and it's a little late, but if you anything, please support myself and Noel, the TARDIS. Oh, I didn't even know you changed the TARDIS zone. Cool. TARDIS zone or Noel zone. Make sure you can also subscribe to the Noel zone for just less of like $2 a month and help him get the shooty shoes that we want to get him. And please subscribe over at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. YouTube and Facebook are the best places. Tonight we're going to have 2 different episodes. So yeah, you're going to be jumping around 2 times. Again, we're going to be reviewing the Christmas Invasion because people have been asking us to review classic stuff. When we first went onto the scene, we were just reviewed Jodie Whittaker stuff. We never went back and started doing that. So we're going to be reviewing that episode, and then we're going to be skipping over an hour later to Destination Skaro, and you can stay on the YouTube channel. That's where both shows are going to least premiere. And please just support us to get your voices out there as well. And I see a lot of people are coming in there. Rose and Clara, nice, Mark. that's an OnlyFans waiting to happen. Anyways, it's please subscribe us on the YouTube channel. We put out content practically on a daily basis with our shorts and stuff, and we just have a great time with Doctor Who. It's a different world over here where Noel is speaking his mind and letting everybody come in and talk, their mind and come and hashing it out what they think. And
I know it's funny
really
how
having a
people
good
say I
time.
don't let people on with different opinions. I literally do if people come on and behave themselves. I don't give a shit what opinion you have. I have mine, you have yours. We find some common ground. If not, we move on. Simple.
Yeah, and our show's the same thing. We have people who want to talk about completely diverse opinions about things. But again, just like Noel, we find our common ground, but we also do some other stuff to have fun, especially coming up in the holidays. We do some featured shorts, even with Dalek Hal, who's our featured Dalek out there that everybody enjoys watching, and we kind of torture him every now and then. But as the holidays get closer, we're going to be having some fun stuff. As it approaches, we're going to have a special, hopefully, for this Christmas. For those of you who celebrate, we're going to hopefully have a special episode for that. So please support both of us, please. And there's a lot of us out there. There's the Space Book with Charlotte. There's the Rabbi from another world. Please check everybody out there, because that's how we get your support, and that's how we get our names out there. And we're open to anything, and no matter what you like or what you think of Doctor Who, you're still a fan in our book. You're no less a person or a fan because you disagree with what's going on. So please don't ever stop saying what you think, because that's how they win. Please talk. Please speak your mind. And at least, if anything, the TARDIS Zone and the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS are 2 safe havens you can come to at any time. And come over and just speak your mind. Just be cordial. That's all we ask. And, just tell us what you think, and we'll go from there. Guys, have a great time. Hail XSM. Sorry, I can't say it so fast. And hail to everybody in the chats. Thanks for coming out here. We'll see you tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard, and our show will be at midnight. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Noel. I'll see you next time.
See ya. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Royce. Now, I was trying to find something because I wanted to read it actually out. But just to let you know, Bowstrek is working on a new video. So this whole thing has got him back into full swing. So look out for his channel, set your notifications, because he's coming back with another video. Look, fans are not asking for much. And we understand that these shows need a casual viewer as well. They do, right? We buy the merch and all that, and you have the casual viewers that might buy a little bit of merch here and there, right? Because they might like a favorite character, and that's great, right? But the thing is, I don't, I've seen the criticism, right, from people that are defending this and criticizing people like myself and telling people that have disabilities to shut up. It's none of your business. Stay out. If you don't agree, just stay silent. Right? I'm seeing all of that. I think that's unfair. As soon as you start shutting down you know, someone like that, then you've lost the argument completely. The bottom line is that this was all unnecessary, and RTD has created a situation that was never needed to be created in the first place. Now, some fans have been getting in touch with RTD through his Instagram. Now, we had some fans who were, very angry at him. But of course, the other side call it harassment, they call it abuse, right? When all they're doing is asking why he's done this. So, if one particular person wrote him a long message and told him how he felt about the change, and his response was tough. He responded to someone else as well, in typical RTD fashion also. Now, I think Chris Ballstrek is going to be actually covering that. Now, I will, as I said, because we will be continuing this conversation tomorrow, because I will have my panel on with me tomorrow. We will be talking about Chris Chibnall's defence of RTD, but also I will be getting those the actual Instagram post that this fan sent RTD, and then of course, as I said, his response was tough, and I will get the other one as well. Now, someone actually had the audacity to ask, "Are you sure this is RTD's account? Is it verified?" Absolutely, it's RTD's Instagram account. He's very active on Instagram. Actually, earlier on in the year, a guy that we bring on here and I've had on this channel, Jack Main, was told to fuck off by RTD. So, this hasn't been just one little thing with RT. This is not just about the Davros thing. There's a lot of people out there that have seen RTD's attitude towards fans. Now, what the biggest killer is, and what these people that he panders to don't realise, he has lost his core support, by the way. Those people that have always supported RTD are now coming out and criticising him. And that is big. And I don't think he's realised what he's done. He's opened up a whole can of worms now. Now, that quote that I read from the Star Beast, right, is any indication, it's the same old story again that we had during the Whittaker era, and nothing is going to change. And it shows that these people are just not listening. There's no way that RTD didn't see what was going on the last few years and be okay with that. Unless this was the plan all along. Bring Chris Chibnall in, let him do something radical with Doctor Who. He'll get all the criticism. Then I'll come back, be hailed as a saviour, as some who are on this channel who are supposed to be in the know told everybody it was a rescue mission. You all remember that. What if it was a way just to get his foot in the door, to get these people to support him, and then he turned on everybody and is just going to follow the same agenda, except this time with Disney's backing. Which means, guys, that like Star Wars, which we have seen absolutely being dragged through the mud over the last few years, this is what's going to happen to our beloved show. The longest running sci-fi franchise of all time is going to be dragged through the mud. Because when the season fails and it looks like it way well, we'll find out in the next 3 specials, but I'm pretty sure after they're finished, we'll have our answer what direction this show is going in. But when the ratings plummet, when it does fail, if it does, I should say, right, hypothetically, it's going to, remember, they have a contract with Disney now. So even if the show absolutely plummets ratings-wise, it's going to be dragged through the mud for a further couple of years because of that contract. Because remember, Disney don't just cancel shows, and Disney right now, because Disney's they're taking some of their own shows off to be buying up shows that try the distribution rights to shows like Doctor Who and many other shows out there to put on their platform. But the rumor is that Disney Plus is about to merge with I think it's Hulu, right? So Disney Plus is already in trouble, and then you put a show like Doctor Who that has been in trouble for the last 5 years on its platform. It's a disaster waiting to happen. But all RTD had to do was just respect the show, respect the characters, and stop being nasty to fans. I said if he starts opening his mouth, if he starts trying to pander to all, please everybody, which I do believe he's been trying to do, right? But he's pissing everybody off now, right? He's going to fail. Hulu and Peacock it is. There you go. So I was half right. So there you go. So it's on the verge, Disney Plus, of collapsing, right? And then you're putting a show that's fragile, Doctor Who, on that platform for the rest of the world. And this is why they're doing their Doctor Who for Dummies videos, because they're so desperate to get people to watch this. And then what they'll do is then, and this is the sickening thing about the whole thing, Disney will exploit Yasmin Finney and other characters of diversity and say, oh, but look, we have a trans character. Oh, look, we've got the first Black Doctor. Oh, look, we've got the force this, we've got the force that, we've got the force this, that, and the other. And that's exactly what they'll do. Right? You even seen the Radio Times. They said the first trans actress, blah, 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 blah. Because that's how they will frame it. That's how they will word it. And that's how they will attract all of these people that aren't fans and don't give two shits about Doctor Who, but give a shit about the message. And once there's a message in Doctor Who, they will give a shit about the message. They won't necessarily give a shit about the show, but they'll watch the show because the message is being pushed in the show. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they love Doctor Who, because none of them actually do. They just care what the agenda is in it and what message they're trying to push. Whereas us, all we want to see is a sci-fi fucking show with a bit of intelligence, right? As I said, the Doctor going from planet to planet, saving people, space fights, fucking bog-eyed monsters, all of that. That's what we want. And the odd historical episode, with the way they used to do historical episodes, by the way, not shits to them. Right? So, you know, we will find out pretty soon, because we've got now, it's Tuesday. So on Saturday, most of us will find out. Obviously, I won't find out till after the fact because I'm not watching it straight away. And then I will be coming back where I'll be watching it live on stream, not live the night it airs, but I'll be doing a live stream where I'm watching it, and I'll be doing a live reaction on screen. I'll be on camera and also you get to see me facial expressions and all of that. And then I will have me review panel as we used to do. So we'll be doing the watch along stream, and then I'll be doing the review panel like we did for Flux, like we did for Jodie Whittaker's era, even though apparently I wasn't a real Doctor Who fan and I should get out of the fandom because the show wasn't for me. But yeah, it's true. And I'll sit through this shit. I don't know why. I must be crazy, But there you go. Anyway, PD Rich is in the chat. He says it's called Dr. Screwed now. I thought it Dr. LGBTQ plus. Or Dr. Q, but I'm not going to say the full word because I find it offensive. But Dr. Q would actually suit it as well, because that's who it's clearly aimed at. Right? It's as simple as that. That's who it's clearly aimed at. It's not aimed at fans like us. They don't want us anymore. They've made it very clear. See, I think what they reckon would happen is that they push a lot of fans out during the Whittaker era, which they did. And this new shooty era will finish it off. And then they'll have a show then that they could do absolutely anything to. And they will. They'll destroy canon. They will, you know, they will amend things to suit their narrative. And it won't be the Doctor Who that you grew up with. And that's the bottom line. So the next, again, they've been using this next generation nonsense. Next generation, because it is not for us. They told us, the clue is in the quote. It's for the next generation of fans. They don't want us. They basically told us their time's up with this show. That's it. It's for the dummies now. So you can move on because you are too intelligent, and you will see through all of our virtual signaling and our absolute weak attempt to pander to everybody. So we need yous gone because we can't have yous pointing the finger at us. So get the fuck out of the fandom is basically what they're saying to us. And it looks like every time I throw a comment up now, it seems like me computer is going fucking crazy. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, because my avatar is not fucking moving. BBC have just read the Top Gear Strictly Come Dancing is now their flagship show. And remember what happened when they fired Clarkson, Douglas, Murray's right. The BBC just do not learn. Exactly. I mean, look, yeah, I heard about the Top Gear news, but I'm not actually surprised. Top Gear has been shite since they left, and that's the bottom line. End of story. Clarkson, May, and fucking Hammond. And anybody that thinks otherwise is an absolute twat, in my opinion. He has ruined the best car show in the world because, you know, some idiot couldn't stand up for himself against Clarkson. Listen, if Clarkson had done that to me, Clarkson would have been, well, I can't say what would have happened, Clarkson, but let's just say I wouldn't be bitching and crying and wanting to be sacked. I would have handled it myself. Yeah, it's because I've got so much going on. Hold on. Well, there's one more thing I can do to make this fucking all run smoothly before I go. I'm going to take the background off, which is a video, and I'm just going to put the screenshot in the background instead, and hopefully that will make a difference. Any second now. I feel like I'm going to disappear. Why won't it let me remove the fucking video? Let me remove the video and put the screenshot on, please. It's not that hard. It's like show. Right, it looks like I have frozen. I don't know if you can still hear me. Right, well, I don't know what's oh yeah, well, we still have the Grand Tour, you're right about that. There you go. I think we're all good. But look, we're starting to get a few technical issues, so I will finish up by saying join me tomorrow and my panel as we discuss Chris Chibnall's defence of RTD's change of Davros. Of course, I'm not surprised that Mr. Schill has come out in defence of RTD, because, of course, he was the idiot that started all of this, and I do believe there was a genuine plan there. Bring him in, let him run the fucking show with all of this, and then RTD could do whatever he wants, and that's what it seems to be here to be. So yeah, join me, and we will have a special guest joining us for that stream tomorrow. Of course, I will be joined by Queen Charlotte, I think. I'm not sure. PD will let you know in the chat. I forget because I'm getting so many messages right now. But I'm pretty sure PD told me he wouldn't be available when we had their last stream. Now, knowing my memory, that could have been fucking last week or the week before. But he'll let me know in the chat. Yeah, I think it is the camera. I think I'm definitely having issues, but I'm going to remove.
Actually, I should have the camera wasn't even fucking on. I don't know why I didn't remove the camera in the first place and not have the camera on. Anyway, yeah, so I'll be back with a panel and a special guest anyway, and we'll be discussing Chibnall, who defended our RTD. Also, as I said, then I will try get you that actual Instagram post and I won't obviously name the poster, and I'll show you what RTD's response was. I've just seen it's just popped up on my screen right there now that Chris's new video has gone up, and so yeah, that's Ballstreck. So I want to give him a shout out. Ballstreck is back doing videos. Go and check out Aldred Audio Visual. That is Problem Being's channel as well, and he does have a channel called The Problem Being. You can also find The Problem Being at X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Check out Scottish Stavros and Friends Wrestle with Pop Culture. Go over there and check out Daniel's streams. He's been very vocal about this whole Davros situation. We've got the Gobster as well, who's also been addressing this whole situation as well. Check him out. And of course, we will be back here for our usual streams. Come and join us. We got plenty of Doctor Who coming up. We got plenty to talk about. And as I said, we will have those watch-alongs and those panels coming up as well. So stay tuned for all of that. And of course, Friday Night Contact on Friday night, where we will be doing, as we have tried to do, where we will be talking about Hollywood and all of the other stuff that's going on out there as well. Also, just a quick mention to Sean, the Nerdaholics. Go and check their channel, the Nerdaholics channel, out as well. I give a big shout out to Sean there. Also, Clobbering Times. I want to give Clobbering Times mention. Great channel. They've had me on, I think, a couple of times now, and it's been always really nice when I've been on over there. So I want to give Clobby a bit of a shout out. It's been a while. So Clobbering Times as well. And of course, the guys over at Type 40, Dan and Co, who have also been knocking out of the park as well. And XSM says, thank you so much, Noel. You are a legend. Listen, look, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So I just want to thank you guys yet once again for the support that you have given me over the last 6 years. I wouldn't be here without you guys, and I know that. And you know, I will say this: I know I let some people down when I took the stance that I did, and I decided not to talk about Doctor Who. And I know some people out there weren't happy with the decision, but a lot of you stuck by me. Now, a lot of you have come back because I'm talking about Doctor Who, and I just want to say to you guys, welcome back. And you know, look, I have you know me, I'm stubborn, right? I have the opinions that I have, and when I get me mindset on something, I do it, as you know. And when the other people are telling me, you know, maybe I should take a different approach, I don't listen, you know. And then eventually then I get there. But I get there in the end. But I just want to thank you all for supporting me, and long may it continue. But I will see you for the next one. Oh yeah, Jack Main's channel as well. Jesus, I forgot about Jack. Give Jack's and Cinnamon Toast Crunch as well. I want to give him mention because I do. We haven't zombied in a while, but I do zombie streams with Cinnamon. So I want to give these guys. Hey, I've just been away. For schedule on comics is here, and we're just about to end. But go and check out me stream if you haven't. What in the Davros, folks? Please get those views continue to go up and leave a comment. And I've seen a lot of you have left comments already. Please check that out if you haven't watched it. It was a great panel. It's really worth a watch. So if you haven't watched it, it'll be great to watch. And of course, let everybody know about this one as well, and give your opinions in the comment section as well, guys. You know, hit that like button as well. Everything helps the algorithm here. So guys, if you could do that and leave a comment as well, I really appreciate it. And of course, the movie zone. The movie zone. I've got to squeeze a fucking movie in somewhere. So tomorrow's panel starts at I think with from 7 to 8. So what I might do is I might actually do the movie zone tomorrow night, and the movie is Swordfish. But the movie that won was Swordfish. So what's going to happen is I'm going to put a poll up tonight. It's going to be a quick second poll. Obviously, it's not going to have a week like the rest of the polls. I'm going to put 4 movie choices up. Go in, vote on them, and then we will then watch that movie on Thursday. I know it's short notice, but we got a little bit backed up because the night that we were supposed to do the movie zone, Lee wanted to come on and talk about this Davros situation. So I thought, you know what, it's time to bring the Tarda zone back properly. And that was the night to do it. So that's what in the Davros stream. Go and check it out. It's well worth a watch. I'm not just saying that, but it actually is. There was a lot of opinion on that panel. And everybody got their point across without screaming and shouting over each other, which is actually unusual for this channel. But there you go. We got there. Why is it called Swordfish if it's got nothing to do with swordfish, says Mark? I think it's the Trojan horse that they use, or it's the code word for the Trojan horse. But I get what you're saying. And I got all technical there for no reason whatsoever, didn't I? Well, on that note, on that very sad, disappointing note, I will say good night to you all. Look after yourselves. We'll be back tomorrow. So make sure you put the notification, put the notification bell. Ring that bell, as they say, or hit that bell. And we'll be back tomorrow. Have a good one, folks. See you soon. Night, night.